Okay, we're going to get this thing started. This is the City of Gig Harbor's Design Review Board meeting for April 8th, 2021. And we'll start with a roll call. And what I'll do tonight is I'll just call out your name and you say here, okay? We'll make it easier. Tommy?
Here.
Linda? Linda?
Can you not hear me?
I can barely hear you, but was that good enough for you, staff? We acknowledge that Linda's here.
Yeah.
John? John?
Here.
Okay. And Marlene?
Here.
Okay, I think that's it. So Darren, myself, I'm here. And then staff, Kim?
Here.
And Cindy.
Here.
All right, so that gets everyone, right? Okay. Okay, we'll start off with the announcement of that this is a public meeting. There is accepted public comment up through yesterday. No public comment will be taken at this meeting at this time. If we have anything, we'll read that in during the meeting. So Cindy, Kim, do we have anything, public comment on either of these projects?
We have no comments on either project.
Okay. All right, then I'd ask any of the DRB members if they have any appearance of fairness concerns regarding, actually we'll just go on both these projects, the Swede Hill, the Cannerwood Commercial Center, and or the Busich Industrial Building. Do you have any issues to recuse yourself from discussion or voting on this matter? A head shake is good. I can acknowledge that. I see you all. Okay, we don't have any concerns. Does anybody, and again, I'll just go ahead and just cover both projects at this time. Any of our applicants have any concern with any of the DRB members or city staff in regards to discussion or voting on either of these projects? No. All right, everyone's going horizontal with their head shakes. That's good. Okay, so we can move on. All right, so the first, we're going to go right on to the first application. I don't believe we have any meeting minutes. I'll ask Kim and Cindy. Okay, so we're going to move right on. And that is Swede Hill. This is Cannerwood Commercial Center. And this is applicant is proposing a design alternative to allow the removal of 2 significant trees. I'll keep it at that. I'll keep it kind of brief. We'll turn it over to the staff report and take it away, Kim.
Thank you. Just a quick reminder for everybody that this meeting is being recorded and it is our official record. And so if you're not speaking on the record, please keep your microphone muted. Good evening, everyone. The first item on our agenda this evening is an alternative design review proposal for the Canonwood Commercial Center at 10700 Cannerwood Boulevard, located just west of the St. Anthony Hospital on Cannerwood Boulevard. The applicant proposes to develop 4 commercial structures on a vacant 7.6 acre parcel in the B2 General Business District. The site is heavily forested and contains steep slopes, 1 unnamed stream, and 7 regulated wetlands. The structures will total just over 28,000 square feet of combined square footage and will be accessed via 2 points off Cannerwood Boulevard. The site's bordered on the west by the State Route 16 Enhancement Corridor and on the east by the Cannerwood Boulevard Enhancement Corridor. Significant trees within enhancement corridors are required to be retained as per Gig Harbor Municipal Code 17.99.160A, which is the subject of the applicant's request this evening. The applicant has identified 2 significant trees within the Cannerwood Boulevard Enhancement Corridor that must be removed to facilitate the site's grading. These trees number 416 and 417, are both Douglas firs and measure 18 inches and 17 inches in diameter at breast height, respectively. The applicant proposes to plant 35 evergreen trees 6 feet height at planting as an alternative to the need to retain trees number 416 and 417. The location of the trees proposed for removal and the proposed new trees in the alternative request are identified in Exhibit B. Staff has considered the applicant's proposal and has offered its analysis in Section 6 of the staff report. If found agreeable, staff has suggested findings and a recommendation by the DRB that the proposal is consistent with the criteria set forth in Gig Harbor Municipal Code 17.98.055A, which is necessary for a recommendation of approval. This meeting's been appropriately noticed. There's no public comment, and this concludes my synopsis of the Cannerwood Commercial Center alternative design request. I'm happy to address the board's questions.
Do any board members have any questions of Kim or staff? Okay, if there being none, I would probably say that we could, I don't know if we necessarily need to move to an applicant sort of presentation per se. I might just ask one question to maybe get this started in the fact that it was described that removal of these trees was due to some grading on site in order to get some of the infrastructure in place, and then the replacement of those trees was by a significant number of 6 foot high combination of deciduous and fir trees. So is there anything different than that that you want to share for the project? And I'm not sure who maybe I got all my applicants mixed up here. I make sure who I'm looking at here. I'm focusing.
Carl. That's you, Carl.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Darren, I'll speak for the project, and we don't need to take a whole bunch of your time, but I'm new to the project, newish, considering it started in 06, and I just came into it in the fall of 2019. Thought we would maybe just get into one more middle and wrap this thing up. I guess it's been to the DRB 5 times already. And when Kim noticed this issue, and I brought it to the attention of the engineers who have been on the project the entire time, frankly, they already thought that it was okay for these trees to be removed. There was no way they were going to be saved. It's already planned to be heavily planted where these 2 trees are coming out. So there was no way to add more trees up there, but it was a good catch by Kim. And so the only way to resolve it quickly was get back to you, the DRB, and propose some alternative plantings. And since there was no room up on Cannerwood Boulevard, Jason and his team came up with the idea to fill in more plantings down on the SR16 side. That's all I'll say.
All right, thank you, Carl. Do all the DRB members have the exhibit in front of them on their screen? They're able to look at it. So I don't know if we need to share this from staff or not, but if everybody has it and they can refer to it, does it make sense? Do you have any specific questions? Okay. I'm going to jump to Kim's recommendation, basically, and let's make sure I've got the right findings. So I'm going to make a motion on this, and I'm reading it from Kim's report here. So the DRB finds that the proposed design alternative meets the intent of the general requirements and represents an equivalent, I might even say superior design solution of what would otherwise be achieved by rigidly applying the specific requirements of the code. So I don't know if I need to say anything more elaborated on that. The details of the tree planting and such is described on the drawings.
I'll second.
Tommy's seconded it. Okay, do we have any other discussion or further discussion on the motion and the second? Okay, I will go ahead and call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did we get one from Linda? Aye from Linda. Aye from Marlene. Aye from John. Aye from Tommy. Aye from Darren. That's unanimous. Okay, do we have anything else on the Canterwood Boulevard project? Anything else, Kim?
None for me. I'll invite the applicants. Luke, Carl, do either of you have any questions while we're here with the DRB? Okay.
Okay, go enjoy happy hour, you guys. You're out. Thank you. Okay, on to our second item on the agenda. This is Usage LLC, and this is the industrial building. And I don't, first of all, I want to ask a question. Has this project been in front of the DRB before? It has,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I guess I just I can't recall that footprint in that site, remembering that site. And maybe, I don't know, one of the rare meetings I wasn't in attendance, but familiar with the site. And so we're talking about something fairly similar on this project. This is the proposal as an 11,250 square foot building. And it's got a breakdown of its interior sort of uses. But in essence, they're seeking a design alternative recommendation from the DRB related to the specific requirements of site design, and as that relates to retaining significant trees. So I'll turn it over to Kim.
Thank you. Just as you said, we're on to the second agenda item this evening. It's the Busich Industrial Building. The applicant proposes an 11,250 square foot warehouse and office building on a vacant 1.46 acre parcel in the employment district. Site improvements associated with the development include off-street parking, landscaping, septic system, stormwater detention facility, and frontage improvements along Busich Road. Please note that my staff report should be amended in section 2 to reflect that the applicant's only requesting review of an alternative design to one provision of the design manual 1799-240D, which requires the retention of approximately 25% of existing significant trees on a non-residential site. And I'll ensure that that's reflected in the notice of recommendation. On the subject site, adherence with this provision would result in the retention of 13 of the 49 existing trees. The applicant proposes to retain only 7 of these trees, but proposes to plant 30 new trees as an alternative to the strict conformance with these standards. All 30 trees are native to the Pacific Northwest region and are species listed on the director's preferred species for planting list. These trees are listed on the applicant's landscape plan included as Exhibit B with my staff report. All deciduous trees will be a minimum of 2-inch caliber at planting, and all evergreens will be a minimum of 6 feet tall at planting. Staff has analyzed the applicant's request at length in section 6 of my staff report. Should the DRB find the analysis agreeable, suggested findings and recommendation have been provided on page 6 of the staff report, which find the proposed design alternative as consistent with the criteria for a recommendation of approval set forth in Gig Harbor Municipal Code 17.98.055A. Again, this project was properly noticed. No comments were received. This concludes my brief of this design proposal for the Busich Industrial Building. I'm happy to address any questions the board may have.
Okay, do any board members have any particular questions of staff? Okay, and we'll, I think, handle this one in a similar fashion. I'll just start maybe with some opening comments, and then we'll solicit other DRB members' comments. It seems from the tree survey, we're talking about trees that are in the neighborhood of about 6-inch caliber, right? So things that are not overly large, and they seem to be scattered about the site, you know, so much so that there wasn't really any cluster to sort of grab onto, at least the way I could see from the tree survey. So to try to make the site somewhat usable, I can understand the request to remove those, because there wasn't a lot of them on site to begin with. And we're talking about the retention of only maybe 13 trees. So my opinion is that with this, I'd much prefer to, while they're somewhat immature trees to begin with, get them replaced in a very sort of dense and planned arrangement. The way that the landscape plan is being presented, I think it's a superior solution. Other comments from the DRB members?
I agree insofar as that, and I think that it is superior to what was there or is there until these trees are removed and the new ones planted.
Thank you, Tommy. Marlene, any comments? Or John? John's jumped ahead of you, so go ahead, John.
Was this the site where there was one of the trees that was significant the last time he came to us, and it actually had already fallen down by the time he came to us, or not?
No, that was oh, sorry. Can I address that question? Yeah, that was right across the street actually from this, John. There's two. Yeah, 89th Street is a public road or a private road that splits these two parcels, and so this is just across the way.
Yeah, in that case, I still totally agree with Darren. I mean, the vegetation that are on both of those sites is pretty light and sketchy. So a better plan would be much better in the long term.
Okay. Okay, that leaves Marlene. Linda, do you have any comments want to add?
I'm ready to make a motion.
Marlene, I'm going to take you up on that.
All
Please do
right.
so.
Here we go. The DRB finds that the proposed design alternative meets the intent of the general requirements of GHMC 1799-240D and represents an equivalent or superior design solution to what would otherwise be achieved by rigidly applying the specific requirements of the GHMC.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded. I like the inflection you give with your motions, Marlene. It's really just dramatic. It's very nice. I appreciate that very much. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, we will call for the question. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's an aye from Linda, aye from Marlene, John, myself, and Tommy. So it is unanimous. Motion carries. Okay, I think that takes care of agenda item number 2, and I think that is the extent of our applicants and submittals tonight. So let me jump back over to, all right, so didn't get to hear from you, James, tonight. So it's been a while.
That was easy. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you go out and enjoy the rest of the sunshine tonight.
Will do. Thanks.
All right,
Thanks,
guys,
Darren.
thank you very much.
Thank you, board member.
Okay. Okay, this is now in regards to DRB and staff, maybe upcoming meetings. I think we have mixed use coming up on Pioneer for March 22nd, actually April 22nd, right?
April 22nd.
April 22nd.
Yeah, so the agenda need to be updated.
Please make a note of that.
Okay. What's our status for attendance for that? Anybody potentially going to be out?
Not that I'm
John's here.
aware of at this time.
Okay. All right, so everybody is going to be in attendance. That's great. I presume Brett will be back for that one. Okay. All right, anything else to add for the good of the order?
I move that we,
Tell me, can I?
Tommy? Hold on a second. Marlene, you got some?
I'm not going to let you adjourn yet. Just both of these proposals tonight, I'm just going to ask the question. Are these things that possibly when we look at our design review manual, maybe could be shifted to administrative review rather than needing to have this sort of meeting? I guess people, the other side of that would be to say having this come before DRB gives you an extra safeguard. But it just seems to me that this seems like something that staff is able to adequately review without necessarily bringing it before us. So I just want to put that out there as a thought, that just this is a real, we are constantly hearing as people who live in the city that staff doesn't, we can't address that because staff doesn't have time to do it. Or, we need to hire consultants because staff doesn't have time to do things. And I just wonder if this is really a great use of staff time to have to do all this paperwork and notice meetings and call meetings and have meetings for things that maybe staff is perfectly qualified to make a judgment about.
Well, I would concur, and maybe it's just, a work session or two to just get a sense of how this group of DRB members interprets these things. And it seems like it's been pretty consistent over the years. We haven't had a dramatic swing one way or the other. And you're right, these are, I think, would be considered very minor by comparison. We're not talking about maybe a 24-inch or 30-inch, caliper type tree, where everybody might get a little bit, up in arms about. And ultimately, we have to look at the greater good. I always refer back to the history of the harbor. The view basin was cut clean, like stripped. It was, we were logging. There was nothing in the view basin, back in the turn of the century. And so at least that's a lot of the photographs show. So I think a lot of what we appreciate today that's beautiful was planted, by our predecessors. So, I think in this case, I really appreciate, where they're developing these properties and really doing some very enhanced landscape plans by comparison to, say 20 years ago. We weren't seeing plans like this from a landscape standpoint. So Anyway, that's my opinion. I think that you're right, Marlene. The staff could maybe make some of these minor ones administrative, and I think we'd be pretty comfortable with that.
Or it could be something could be accomplished via email too on the group, either way. So I agree, Austin.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Tommy, Linda, any other thoughts?
I think since on the majority of the ones similar to what we saw this evening, that staff is more than qualified to make the judgment, because basically all we've done is confirmed that the staff made the correct assumption to begin with.
Right. Well, and maybe that's the precedence, that's established. You could just sort of look at a few different results of some of these meetings, and ultimately the staff's performance, and it's in alignment and concurrent with the DRB's recommendation anyway. So it could just help save applicants and everybody a lot of time.
Correct.
Okay.
So now
All right.
may I move?
Yes, you may move. Go ahead.
I move that we conclude the meeting of April 8th, 2021.
Marlene, you can second that if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to second that.
All right, it's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, the meeting is so adjourned. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you
Thanks,
next time.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good
All right.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.